So this video is going to have a disclaimer on it for anyone who is going to watch it. And the reason being is the truth is stranger than fiction. The truth is the average person who is in search of truth will not find it, because the average person is not ready or willing to surrender the most sacred thing of all. And that is the belief of who you are. That's what you give up in the spiritual journey. And that's why the person who goes in is not the person who comes out. Because who you assume yourself to be when you go in cannot come out. Because once you face this belief of who you are, it dissolves into dust. Because it never was, which is what the ego is for. It's to reveal to you what you truly are and reveal to you what never was, which is likewise what time is for, what order is for. We use time, a sequence of events, a sequence of order, to reveal to us our timelessness, to reveal to us our infinite nature. Because as our infinite nature, nothing is separate. No person, no place, no event, which is why time is an illusion. The all-seeing eye ultimately represents you as this conscious construct. God has no name because, again, it is a conscious construct. You can call it energy, you can call it whatever you'd like, but it cannot be destroyed, and it cannot be created or duplicated. And what that means is nothing new is beginning. There is no beginning, there is no end. Which likewise goes back to creation. There is no creator, because creator implies a creation, and a creation has a beginning. And there is no beginning to infinity. And that's what drives us so insane as this human concept. But this is what we don't understand. We're trying to understand our macrocosmic selves through this microcosmic aspect of being human. We're playing small and trying to understand the macrocosmic sense of ourselves, which can never happen. The only way we'll ever be willing to see into the macrocosmic chaos of our inevitable nature is to have that microcosmic character that we're pretending to be, that we're assuming ourselves to be day after day and protecting through our beliefs, to be momentarily suspended. And what I mean by suspended is to be ended, to face death once and for all, to face the end, to see yourself without belief, to see yourself without smoke and mirrors, without any assumption, without any form, without any shape. Because everything that you assume to be outside of you, out there, is only a mental construct being shaped and created by your mind. We can all agree that we're looking at the sky, we're looking at the earth, we're looking at the universe, we're looking at trees. But we're all shaping them and defining them individually. Which is why reality itself is subjective. You are the universe experiencing itself. Too often, we in the spiritual community, we use these quotes, but we don't understand the literacy behind them. When you say all is one, you are acknowledging yourself as the all-seeing eye, but there is some conspiracy in the spiritual community that the all-seeing eye is evil, or that it represents some evil entity. But all it represents is a symbol which speaks 1,000 words. And that's what symbols are for. They're meant to speak without words being spoken. And the reason you have created these symbols, because again, you are everyone. You have recorded these symbols to speak to yourself, your timeless self. Those who are conscious, who have consciously awakened to the timeless self, consciously speak to it through symbols, because we know words are illusions. They don't exist. Words are made up. Languages are made up. Borders are made up. Tribes are made up. Cultures are made up. Colors are made up. We're all the same being. We're all one. When you say we're all one, there is no black and white. We're all the same entity we're calling life. Life has no distinctions. Life has no separations. Life has no definitions. Life has no boundaries. And that's the hardest part, is letting go. Letting go of all your assumed definitions. Everything you think you know must be lost. This is an unlearning process. That's what death is. It's unlearning all this surface level knowledge to show you beyond the surface of what you thought was. It's allowing you to see beyond the curtain into the projector itself, and showing you that you've been identifying with all the images appearing on this screen. But you yourself are the screen. You are what is appearing and disappearing through what's called the moment, which is life itself. But you are the screen, which is not moving at all, which is witnessing it all, which is where the term all-seeing eye comes in. You are the only witness. This is why time is an illusion. It has been you the whole time. You don't need to hold on to this one experience as one name in one place and one time, because you're already all of them. Which is why to suicide is pointless. You cannot escape your inevitable nature of who you are. You are life itself. In this form or the next, in this name or the next, you are that you are. You are this, and this has no name. And it can drive many insane, but these are the ones who are trying to put a name to it, who are trying to capture it, who are trying to confine it. You cannot capture it, you cannot measure it, you cannot define it, because you are the very it. You can't travel faster than the speed of light, because you are the it. As Nikola Tesla said, everything is the light. And that's why you can't travel faster than it. You are the it you're trying to capture. Why did Alice never catch the white rabbit? There was no white rabbit. She was chasing herself the whole time. Which is why I say the final conspiracy is not with you and the world or you and your governments. It's with you and yourself, who you assume yourself to be. And the beautiful thing about spirituality is it can happen to you at any time, any place, any moment, rich or poor, healthy or sick. Doesn't matter. You can realize who you are in a single second. And in that single second, you will have experienced every time, every place, every person, everything. You will instantaneously understand, because you will have touched the timeless. You will have internally experienced the timeless, and you will be the walking timeless one. And I'm trying to put words to it to where people listening will understand, because again, ultimately, it has no word. It has no form. It has no trace. Yet it is undeniable. And again, anyone who has died will tell you something remains to tell you that you have died. But it's not telling you that you have died as the energy, as the spirit, as what you're calling God. It's telling you that you have died as the character, as the name. It's telling you your name. For instance, I'm Tyler. It's telling you that Tyler has died. And it's just like the internal dialogue you have with your own self in your own mind right now, when you talk to yourself in your mind. So you think nothing of it when it says, oh, Tyler's dead. But then you start realizing to yourself, if Tyler is dead, why is something, and again, I say something because it can't be defined. That's where I am that I am comes into play. But this something is reporting that you have died. And this is when you realize you've assumed yourself to be a character that never was. Again, the character is essential for the awakening process. And all the awakening is doing is making you realize what you've been the whole time. It's not arriving at anywhere or any place. It's showing you what you are and have been the whole time, and always are and will be. It's showing you that you need to correct nothing in life, because everything is already divine. Everything is already as it's supposed to be. To know who you are and to make this realization absolutely completes any meaning or purpose you can absolutely think to find. You will instantaneously understand purpose and meaning. And I don't say your purpose and meaning because, again, the character doesn't exist. Your purpose and meaning would belong to your character. You understand purpose and meaning, meaning you see through purpose and meaning, because you're no longer looking at yourself nor what you're calling the macrocosmic universe through the small lens of purpose and meaning. You don't need such things to define yourself as. You don't need such things to exist. You don't need such things to fulfill yourself with, because you have fulfilled yourself through the ultimate knowing of who you are. There will never be an on and off, a life and death for you, because you understand and see through. You have broken through duality. What I consider duality is simply the laws to the ego. The ego cannot exist without duality. So it is law, it is mandatory that duality exists. But when you break through duality, you break through your ego, you break through individuality, you break through separation. And you awaken to the inevitable truth of who you are, which is, again, me, which is you, which is everyone. Any book you will ever pick up and read, any person you will ever listen to on a video. In every case, the speaker is the listener and the listener is the speaker. The writer is the reader and the reader is the writer. It's you the whole time. But life changes. This gives you new vision when you understand this, when you realize this, because when you pick these books up, when you listen to these people, it will give you a completely different understanding and a different vision of the being you're listening to, of how you're listening to it, of how you're reading the book. It's almost as if you are remembering yet again, like Alan Watts. If you listen to Alan Watts, internally knowing this is you. Alan Watts has not died or gone anywhere. And he knew this. He knew he was you, and vice versa. This is the big cosmic secret. This is the big game that we are all playing with ourselves. But again, the average person will not find this truth because they are not ready to have the conspiracy and the spiritual games end. And what I mean by the spiritual games is the mystical, the blind faith and the hope. We want to wait on stars and alignments and, charge crystals and do mystical things. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. But this truth requires a bit of darkness. And what I mean by that is the inevitable facing of your ego, of who you are not.